Hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing lovely. Currently the screen you're seeing is GitHub. This is what I use to actually keep my projects on the cloud so that way they're not taking up too much storage space. It's a good trick and it's completely free software. Like everything I use, it is actually completely free. Because, haha, that do just be how I work. But yeah, it's just some I always do the free software because that's always the best software. Let's get to it. I'm going to give you guys a quick tutorial on some very basic things of GitHub that I love using because I didn't do that yet. So, what you do is with GitHub, you want to press fetch origin. If you're working with others, it'll fetch the repository, which in this case is the intermediate game development thing, because that's what this file is called, because that is why I'm going to be submitting it. And over here you can see all the history. Even if you're working on solo projects, it's pretty good to have one of these, because even though you don't have to share it, let's say you do something really badly, like you just completely like mess up the files or something like that, this allows you to go back and it'll clear it all up for you, meaning you will lose. It'll help save you some time. So if something corrupts or something along those lines, you can just hop back in the history and it will be fine. So yeah, just a cool thing. So yep, allow me to just, oops, wrong one. So now here is the one so this is Unity Hub. This is where you use your projects, install new versions of Unity. Currently installed, which is the version I'm using to make this game. It's the 2020.3.5F1. Again, not the most updated, as I said last time. And yeah, this is how you open your projects. You just find them if you haven't already got them, or you press new project, go through that process. But if you already have it, like me, you just press it. So generally you want to use some kind of acronym just in case the name is too long. Yes, now we wait for that to load. I'll get you guys to look at GitHub as we wait. Yeah, this is privatized, so only people I give it access to can actually use this. So yes, this might take a little while since occasionally it can take a bit for these to load up, but yeah. So you guys can't really see this, but it is currently importing. So how's everyone's day going? I hope everyone's day is going well as we wait for this. Project opening contains compilation. Why does it contain compilation errors? It should not contain compilation errors. It should be perfectly fine. Ignore. It should be fine. Swear to God, if I've already made the map corrupted. Oh God, I apologize for making you all blind. Oh, yeah, that was probably from me programming. That's concerning. Let's go take a look at that, shall we? So, yeah. So, you generally want a good file structure when you're working. Yeah. Let's open Visual Studio, and it's gonna make me reselect the properties of it again because it loves doing that. It loves making me do that. Because for some reason it doesn't keep the same one, which is kind of helpful in a way, I guess, but it does just mean I have to reopen it every single time I want to use Visual Studio. So So yeah, this can take a little while, but I figured I'd show you guys the full process. Which is waiting for this to load. So yeah, I hope everyone's day is going well. Feel free to start asking questions about what I've already done. Anything like that. Probably just talking to myself. Yeah, let's go. So yeah, let's see how long this takes to load. Oh, it's loading. It's loading. It is loading. I need to make sure I've got my tutorials pulled up. Because I do need my tutorials. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Any shows you watched recently? I've been watching Miss Marvel because I actually enjoy the character from what I'd seen of her before. Because I personally think she's a pretty cool character. Now that this is loaded, I can begin showing you. So, for those who were here last stream, you will be familiar with what I've already done, which is done some setups. Did a bit of code commenting, which is this stuff, because I have to make sure to reference the code so it's not stolen. Hate it when it wants to give me feedback. But yeah, this is in Visual Studio Community 2022, I believe. That is the most recent version. But yeah, why are you? Yes, why are you? Why is the program to be yellow? Why is he yelling at? I'm trying to work out what it's telling me to do right now. What are you telling me to do? Can't tell because it's covering my own code, so I can't actually tell what it's trying to. I can't actually tell what it's trying to get me to do right now. Can I move this? No, I cannot. Tonian. Oh, you guys can't see this. That's okay. I figured you guys would have been able to see this. It's not actually opening anything. But yeah, basically IntelliSense is yelling at me for some unknown reason. Okay, let's just see what happens if I did allow it to do that. Because I don't know what what it wants me to do, so I'm just gonna see what happens if I do that. Oh god, why did that, no. Why? Why? Why are you doing these things? That's weird. I don't think it will fix that issue I'm having. That's know. That's a really weird thing that's happening. And I don't know why. I legitimately don't know why that could be happening right now. It's very, very odd to me. Apologies if I go quiet, it probably means I'm watching a tutorial. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions. That package, if I recall, should already be installed. Yes, it is. So the package is Cinemachine, since this is going to help me be lazy. Okay. So this is the Cinemachine. So then we want a what it looks at. It's also looking the wrong way. Yeah, that's get rid of that part. Negative 3.403. Let's just go negative 3. Not even none of that. Ah, I probably need to, yeah, change this one so that it's correct. And then move that up like that. Oh, why are you being this way? Do I move this one or this one? I can't tell because it's not telling me how to do things. It's not. Okay, why are we locked in here, huh? Okay, so the body, and we want they're using a framing transposer. Okay, this might actually allow me to move things a bit more. Okay, so I can move it using these, but I can't move it using exact tracking offset. So if I set that to 0, 0, 0, then set that to 0, then set that to... Oh god, what did I open? Why is things being this way? See, this is just acting so weirdly. Why is it just... Make it, like, round numbers, please. Round numbers would be lovely. Can I set you to 0, maybe? That's 0. Why is it giving me random numbers? I don't like random numbers being in things. Oh, that's yeah, not that's not a very good view, thanks. And I can't even move it up. I can move it back. I can't even. What the hell is this thing? What? Okay, now I can move it up. There are numbers changing, but I don't know what those numbers mean. Like once I've moved it somewhere, I can't unmove it from that spot. No, thanks. I'm not. No, no, no. I'm tired of that thing. I don't like it. It's. Let's just, delete the main camera, and then we're gonna just create another camera. Call this main camera. I just don't know how Cinemachine works and how it's doing things and why it's not letting me do things I want to do, like move things. Just let me move things how I would like to move them, please. It's not letting me do that. I see. I understand now that the video has basically just told me how it works. That's a weird way. It's weird, but I can understand it. We actually want a free look camera, I think. Um, See, I think we actually want to use this one, and then we want it to follow player. We don't want it to look at player, we want it to follow it. And I think that should work. We'll compile. What errors do we have? Yeah, right, because, okay, well, what's happening here? The namespace global namespace already contains a definition for player movement. Where is that definition? Huh? Player movement error. Type player movement already defined a member called update with the same parameter values. What? What do you mean? Okay, yeah, up here. What's going on? Is that... yes, this is the player movement class. That's what it should be. What? But what? Huh? I'm confused. I'm confused. What's going on? I opened it from here. This is what it should be. Why are you saying I must change it? What? Why are you being dumb? Move file to project root folder. Are you saying it's not already connected to that one? Let's just see what happens. Well, it's fixed it. Okay. And now the script is gone. It's... no, it's actually gone, which is weird because it needs the script. No. Where did you go? editor. That's no comeback code. What the fuck? Apologies for swearing, but I don't know where my code just went. And it's literally nowhere. It's literally disappeared. The code has literally disappeared because Visual Studio was being dumb. Ugh. Why is it like this? Okay, we're just gonna go. Apologies, as we have technical difficulties of code not. What? See, that doesn't even make any sense. What just happened is it's not like it literally moved out of the root slash solution slash everything. Apologies when I'm just turning my I'm just searching my whole PC for player movement in the file explorer because that should be where everything is. Because even if it doesn't exist anymore, like at all, it won't even pop up in this PC. Which would mean that Visual Studio told me to delete itself. Which is, I mean, it's not like I can't get it back, because thankfully I haven't done anything, except for work out how Cinemachine bloody works. Meaning I can just roll back GitHub to the history, which I explained earlier I can do, and then just do that, but it's still so weird to me that it's just poofed my code out of existence, saying, player movement does not exist. It's literally right there. So yeah, that's really weird to me. And also incredibly irritating. Because it shouldn't have had any errors, because it was fine when I logged off last time, when I had it all saved. The only thing that's happened to the code, like, remotely would be uploading it to GitHub, which wouldn't break something like this. So the question is, what happened? And the answer is, I have no idea. I mean, I could always check the recording from last stream, because that will actually have everything. Yeah, that's very irritating. Oh, we got something. Okay. Data. So it's popped up with something. And then we want to put this into this one, then to this one, then to this one. Oh, but where is it? And then we need to move it to here. Player. Okay. Well, let's just close Visual Studio. Yeah, I don't care about the packages that anymore. Samples even. We just want scripts, because yeah, I basically went searching for the file, and then plucked it back into existence. So. Okay then. I love random errors that make no logical sense, because you'd think if there was like an error with the code, moving it back here would not have helped that at all. It's fine now. Okay then. Okay. Many a confusion. Many a confusion. Yes. Let's back to messing with this free look camera. This is just. I have no idea. Let's go back to messing with the camera because it. Oh no. This is what happened last time and everything broke. What are the compilation errors to the console? What do you mean? Yeah, it's fine now. It's fine. Maybe I need to control shift S. That 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 fix it. Really hoping that fixes it. Are you happy? Why are you being red? There's no error here. These types. It's a mono behavior. I didn't change anything. Okay, code. Just do your weird thing. Be dumb. Oh dear lord. And control Z that. Because that. Oh god, what happened? Take me back, thank you. Yes, I'm aware it's a mono behavior. That's what it should be. Why are you telling me to do things? It's already correct. What are you doing? What? Okay, guys, let me just ask my programming teacher real quick. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason there was a problem, thanks to my lovely programming teacher is there was apparently a duplicate, but not me having a duplicate. It's because of the dumb Cinema. So Cinemachine caused a duplicate of code that already existed, basically, meaning it like because they're called the exact same thing, it basically messed with it, and it didn't like that. So what I could just do is, because I didn't actually mean to download this in the first place, was just delete this. Yeah, I don't care. Like, in theory, if I just delete the samples, everything should be fine. Is the console still gonna be yelling? Aha! I fixed it without changing anything. I'm a genius. Let me just... Oops. So yeah, as I said, this was fine. It was just because from Cinemachine there was an accidental duplicate, which caused me headache because I accidentally downloaded a sample and then it had a thing called player movement, obviously, which then caused me problems. Now let's mess with this thing because I haven't messed with it yet. I've been trying to work out how to mess with it, but I haven't been able to play. Whoa, that's... Can I like zoom in? No, there's no like scroll wheel function. Why am I also looking? I have to like put my mouse over here to just like... This is ill. This is ill. Okay, what if I just like... What if I... Standby update. Let's just press never, see what happens. Yeah, it doesn't feel much better. I think it's because I have to go up here and then it's wherever I'm entering. Yeah, no. So I vote I look for a different way of doing it. Because I have zero idea how it's doing things. Which is very irritating because I have no idea how it's doing things, therefore it's not telling me how it is doing things. Which, is just a bit problematic. So I might have to work out how to make my own. I mean, like, I can do, like, a basic... Let's just get that. Get rid of that. And just delete the camera again. So if we did, like, camera... Call this main camera. Bam, we've got a camera now. Which will be much easier to control, I think. Because I could make this a first-person game. Bam. First person. Heck, even better first person. But yeah, we don't want... We want this to be a third person. I just want to be able to have the player customly control it. Let's go like 20. I think I worked out... Oh, that's not the right angle. We want this one. There we go. So then if I just, like, attach this as a child. Hey, look. Oh, God. Yep, right. The turning thing. Really? I should make that turning a bit more controllable. It's very fast. Yeah. See how that's solid? The only problem is it's because I can't tell which way I'm going because there's no stationary observing point. Because technically, forwards for this is backwards which is a very weird way of looking at it, because like you think backwards be turning backwards, but no. So technically what I need to do is kind of how I had it originally, which is a bit different with that script. But that's just more finickiness. This one. Thank you very much. I don't want to know what that does, and I'd rather not play with it if I don't know what it could do. Now, making a character jump. let's make this character jump, which was totally not what I was. Restart this entire thing, please. Because how they were using their Cinemachine was, it was a locked position, and then the rotation always had to be looking at the creature, always had to be looking at the player. What I want to do with the camera is make it so that it's locked with the player, but the only thing that will be different is the movement. So like not movement, rotation of the camera. So where the camera is looking. So yep, we got jump speed already. I'm gonna actually change this and call it gravity acceleration deceleration, because that makes more sense to me, because it's being used for gravity acceleration and decelerate and the deceleration. So gravity acceleration and then deceleration. Step 1 is adjust for gravity. Okay, awesome. How does... So we want to use... I guess that technically... Doing it this way, so I'll do it the same way. So we want gravity speed. So we want gravity acceleration deceleration is plus then equal to so this is how you properly add something into its own type. So one way you could do it is actually by like just having an equal sign there and then have its own variable inputted into it. However, you could also do it this way, which is better, because then you're not doing a plus itself, it's just equals plus itself, because that's what that means. Gravity.y. And then, of course, we want to multiply time by delta time. Thank you, IntelliSense, for being kind. Because we don't want to we don't want it to be frame dependent, we want it to be frame rate independent. And to do this, you multiply by time dot delta time, because time dot delta time is the time between the last frame. So if you didn't have this, it would just be per frame, because that's what the update function is. and you can't use fixed update because fixed update goes too slow. So what you do is you just chuck this into an update. You put it in update, and you multiply by time.delta time, which is the time between each frame, meaning it fixes. So now we want the if input dot get button down brackets quotation marks and then jump. I prefer those kinds of braces and doing it that method compared to the putting a brace up here and then doing it. Makes no difference, but I just prefer this way. It looks nicer. Okay, so therefore, if that has been pressed, then do and then do gravity acceleration, deceleration. You know what? I'm changing this variable name. I'm changing it to just acceleration, because that's much easier to do. And remember, because I keep calling it gravity acceleration anyway. And deceleration is the definition of deceleration is just the velocity inverted of is just if the velocity and acceleration are opposite signs, so either one of them is positive or negative. So if one's positive, the other's negative, or if one's negative, the other's positive, then it is deceleration, but only then. Equals jump speed. I should technically be calling it jump velocity. Yep. And then we are introducing local. And this will be called velocity. Meaning velocity dot y equals gravity acceleration, semicolon. Do it. Yes, I did do that, correct. Oh, okay. Okay, it needs to be a move method now, so let's just... Perfect. Problem solved! Naturally. Time dot time. Okay, let me just... Yep, that's all compiled. Now, we head over to the Unity. To Unity, I should say. If I could switch to it myself. And now it has to compile the script. We have to make sure it is still applied. Yes, it is. And we're gonna make the jump speed 5. Let's just see what happens when it's 5. Obviously, we can change it because that's the nice thing is we can just change it if if we wanted to. If we wished, we could change it. We. Oh no. Guys, I can fly. Wee. Oh. Guys. Can I please be put on the ground now? Oh. Hold on, let's just go take a look at what gravity is real quick. Think it's in project settings. Oh, you guys can't see it. Damn. But yeah, it would be in, it's in project. So you go to edit, project setting. Actually, I might be able to show you. I can. So you go to, so you press edit. You go to physics. Then we want to find gravity. It is the right gravity. Okay. Well, this seems too light to me. Let's make it -20. I mean, I could make it a positive number, but that would not be a good thing. Trust me. It would just it would just automatically send you flying. Yeah, see, this feels so much better. Look at how much faster we're falling now. And I fell. Because I can't tell how to control this character because it's... Again, the WASD keys, the movement keys are working not relative to the camera. But I think that's an easy thing to fix. Because... Technically, I should be making the player prefab and then making all the changes to that prefab. But we don't care about those here. So we want... No, not that. Horizontal input. No. Gravity acceleration. Okay, let's step through this code. So it's physics dot gravity dot something. So it's the quaternion because that's the part where we're actually rotating. Move it direction horizontal input, vertical input. So that's the kind of movement we do want. But then how would one make it? Quaternion 2 rotation, movement direction vector 3 up. Dot. Camera? I don't know. Yeah, what does this do? Local variable. Equals quaternion movement direction. Yes, I do not see how to fix this problem yet. But I will fix it. So now we want to add an if statement up. Well, we need to make an if statement in an if statement. So if bracket character controller dot is grounded, then it will do this. And otherwise, it will do anything else. So we want grav. That's not where I want to put that. And then we want gravity acceleration to be equal to 0, so it's not just forever increasing and impossible to jump. Wait for it to compile. So now, oh, that's, I'm no longer able to jump. Oh, maybe I am. I can't tell, because I can't move. Oh god, this is just so painful. And I fell off the world. Oh, come on, I'm looking at the inspect. Thank you. I wanted to see its rotation. So when I do this, it's at 90. When I do this, it's at 90. So we don't want to grab its rotation. Or do we? No, because we want to actually throw out the code that it's actually using to rotate this. Kind of. Again, the problem is... I mean, that doesn't get me the way of moving the camera on its own, but that does get me a way of moving it with the player without the player rotating it. Because all it would do is do transform dot position. Because then once it's got the player position, all I'd need to do then would be to work out how to make the camera move on its own. That's okay. That's something. That is progress. So we want to detach this camera. We're going to add a just create empty. We're going to call this player position. This is going to be very important here in a second. Because this 3D object that is just sitting in it, that is the player's position. Why is that not exactly 0, 0? It's going to bug me. This could be exactly at -2 now. Aha! Yeah. We want to then go into scripts, and we want to add camera. This is a camera script. Folder. Camera. Actually, we're going to check this in player. Because technically it's player camera. So. Yeah, sure. We'll do that for now. Maybe I'll change it later, but whatever. So, camera location. Actually, no. Because I'm going to just delete that real quick. Just delete new behavior. Oh my god. Thank you. Because we're actually going to chuck this in the game manager when I eventually create it. And it will be in the game manager. So we'll call this game manager. Bam. There we go. So then we'll also want to use an update to grab this guy's position. Okay. Okay, so // determine. I mean, actually, I'm not gonna. I don't need code comments for this because this is a pretty simple one. We want this to be public because we want the player position. So public. Why are you called that? Public player. Ah, I know why. Because I didn't give it its type. That's why it's doing that. Is I did not give it its type. It would be a vector 3, called player. Well, we need an object. We need a reference to the player. So we don't want this to be vector 3. We actually want this to be a, because the vector 3 will be a private variable. We want this to be a public game object. Then we'll call it player. That's not how you spell player. That's also not how you spell. Can I spell? Thank you. Player, and because it's public, bam, that's all you do. So that gets us a reference to the player. So now we want probably another public, I guess. That's not following the correct rules. Now it is. Player, then we want to call it location, because this gets us to the thing we just created. Oh, I should actually call that player position. My bad. Player. So the reason I'm calling them two different things is simply because the player thing is not going to necessarily be as accurate. Okay, so the reason we wanted that is because this is actually going to show the center of the player. This is not the center of the player. If I were to actually do it will always be one up because the actual center is halfway through the floor. But with the game object, it's actually showing the actual position of our player. So yeah. Actually, do we want that? No, we don't. We don't want that. That's actually useless. No. Yeah, that was useless. Damn. Okay. So now we're gonna make a private variable, and we're gonna call it. It has to be a float. Actually, it's a vector. Vector 3. And it's going to be called player position. Now, The reason I'm not setting it to be equal yet is because that's not actually going to update with our update function. So we need this. I think there's a better way of doing it, but I'm unsure of the better way of doing it for now. So we want player dot transform to position. Haha! I was like, what? How do I code this? IntelliSense codes things for me. What can I say? What can I say? IntelliSense codes things. It's called laziness, people. So yeah. That should now be getting our position of our player. But it's also being done, but I don't want to use fixed update because fixed update is called quickly enough. So it's quite possible I'll need to take a look at some other code I've done in the past for a past assessment. And I'll have to see what that does for me. Because quite possibly, that has an option for me to use my... because I don't want this to be called once per frame. I want to actually have this called every I want to actually call this every time at a set position, but I can't just multiply it by time.delta time because that's not actually where the player is. That would mess with this system. So what I'd need to do is figure out some way of actually setting it consistently, but I don't think there actually is. Might be something like add or... I don't know. I will look it up later. Yes. This will get our thing for now. So the reason I'm doing it is because I want everything to run through the game manager. That is the whole point of a game manager, is to have everything run in a function. Basically. I should actually be making this different function called get player position, and then call that function into void update. So that into the update function. So that way it's easier when I need to tweak things around. It's less work for me. Also, I'm having a break now. Everyone, go have a lovely break for 30 or so minutes. I will not be programming during that time. I will probably be having tea and relaxing my mind. Yeah. Also, guys, I will likely stream this weekend. Saturday. I won't be programming. I will actually be just playing games in general. But I will not be, I will not be programming this weekend. Very likely. But yeah, if there's work done on the game that you don't see, it's probably because I'm at school or something. So, that's my alarm telling me it's time for me to go on break. So I don't push myself. I will try and record this stuff for you. So if you don't see a stream and you miss some stuff, it's probably because it's recorded. And I've uploaded it to YouTube. Okay, bye guys. Sorry about that, everyone, for the extra long break. Hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is doing well. Well, after that break, I'm dying, but I had some chocolate for dessert, so that was pretty nice. I had spring rolls and then chocolate for dessert. Remember, always hydrate, always have a water bottle next to you when you're gaming. I just got water all over me because I had too much pressure. I hate it when I do that. Sorry. There's a phlegm in my throat. But yes, let's get back to it. So, I don't think I was doing anything when I was watching that tutorial last. Keyword being I don't think, of course. Let's take a quick look at this. As we will do the camera stuff later. Which I think I've worked out how to do now. Yeah, that's not... I'm like spamming the spacebar right now, you can probably hear it. Me trying to spam the spacebar. So they're actually offering a fix for that. Okay. So apparently this will be just enough to keep the player on the ground, yet not just completely screw over the player, making it so you can't jump every single time. Yeah, no gravity acceleration, you'd say. Yeah, just ignore those. Oh, there's so many. I'll take a look at that later, because that should all not be working in GitHub, but okay. So now we're just going to run the code now. What? Yeah, it's working now. Whoa. Ooh, 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 ooh. So I think technically what I'm looking for is to attach the what I'm thinking of doing. No, because we don't want the player to rotate with the camera. We want the camera to be a free orbit camera. Kind of like how it is in Roblox, for example. We want that kind of camera system, where the player is able to more easily control it. But it's not necessary for the assessment, of course. So what they're doing now is something I don't think I will do, but depending on how glitchy this gets, I might end up doing. But yeah, basically I've done everything I need to do now, excluding making the camera follow and maybe turning down the turning speed a tiny bit. Actually, I have an idea. So now what we're looking at is it's a classic trick. It's the trick of so what this video is about to tackle is showing you how to do the jump. However, it's going to make it so it's more akin to other games when you're trying to do any kind of jumping, because as you can see, you have to actually be because of how it is right now, you have to be exactly on the ground, so you can't really do it if you can't see. So what they're going to do is they're going to make the controls a bit more forgiving in error. So for example, for me to jump off this platform, I have to be standing on it. But let's say, yeah, see, I wanted to move off it then, but I couldn't. See how that can get frustrating? So what they're about to do is they're about to offer a fix for this kind of situation, which would be my guess, is to give this some latency. So if on ground for blah 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 time, then do blah blah blah. Something like that. So, well, it's a method called coyote time. So, basically it's slowing it down, so that way they can see themselves fall. So, back to oh, damn, you didn't see any of that. Okay, so, allow me to go over basically everything I just said, because I forgot I don't have an auto switcher yet, because I really need to figure out a way of doing that. But, basically, ramming into the wall, see? If I were to try and jump off this platform, notice how I think I did it then, but I did it that time. I didn't that time, even though it felt like I did. Because it's currently only doing when I'm on the ground. So technically when I was trying to jump then, I was over here. I wasn't technically quite on it. You see how I'm like struggling to jump? It's because I don't have that little bit of extra space I need. Because instead I have to spam it like this, and then it won't do it every single time. Because it has to be exactly on the ground. There's no little buffer region for it to work. So, how they are saying to do it is if the player, with the jump speed, like, rather than checking if it's on the ground, this flame, it's going to be if it was on the ground recently, and then it'll be the exact same thing again, basically. It will be, rather than on the frame, what you will be is you will be on the, and then with the like jumping in again, or jumping too early, jumping too late, it'll be a bit of a buffer timer. So it's much easier to get correct for a player, and it doesn't feel as frustrating. Particularly, this is particularly important in platforming games, because, well, you're dealing with platforming. It's the main point of the game. So if jumping isn't fun, then you're not doing a very good job. So they are creating a button called, so it is a public, it's called public float jump button, not button grace period, because again, you always want to make your variables actually make sense. And the reason we're making it public is so that way I don't have to go into the code, or a designer wouldn't have to go into the code, of course, so that it can easily be fixed and mess around with until it feels fun. Ooh, okay. This is something I have not done before. So they are adding a nullable field. This is actually new to me, but I do understand it already. So it needs to be a float, and then it needs to have a question mark, because it needs to be able to be a field that is actually nullable. So this will be the last grounded time, and then it will be a semicolon. So we want another float, jump button pressed time. So we want a if statement that says if, so it'll be if character controller dot is grounded. So the reason I don't need to put an equal sign in here to be like is false, like in equals sign to say is true, is because if it isn't true, it'll automatically just not run this line of code. So then we want to do a last grounded time dot equals time dot time. So then we want an if, and then it'll be input dot get button down, so same as earlier as well. Quotation marks, you want jump, and then you want your braces, because of course braces make everything run, because we are not. And then it's going to be the same thing basically, with this becoming that. Wait, hold up. Oh, I'm dumb. Why is that? Okay, let me just fix that. Yeah, I know you're going to yell at me temporarily. Okay, I fixed the problem now. I have renamed the thing that needs it to be renamed. So now instead of it checking if it was on the ground, it's going to instead check if time dot time minus last grounded time and then we're checking if it's less or equal to the jump grace period. Jump grace period. Which of course we will end up doing the same thing as we did there in here. So once again, we want to delete all of this stuff in the center here. And then it will be time dot delta time. Well, not time dot delta time, time dot time. I think it, in my opinion, maybe it should be delta time. Is jump button press, oh god, jump button pressed time is then less than or equal to the jump button grace period. And then we also need to add a jump press time doesn't equal 0. We want it to be null, which means nothing. So it doesn't have a value. It's not 0. 0 is a value to computers. We consider it nothing, but it is actually technically something. However, in computer language, null actually means nothing. Oops, that's not what we want. There we go. So, with it being set to null now, why is it screaming at me? Lost grounded time. Why are you be? Oh, I accidentally put a subtraction in there for some weird reason. Oops. So, save, switch back to Unity. Wait for the scripts to compile. As always, select our player, who I should really turn into a prefab. But that's more when I'm done with it. Have a better idea of what we're doing. Because let's say I was creating more than one level. You want to have a prefab so that way you can just drag it in, and then anything that's like connected to other things. So, for example, when I get the game manager going, it will have a public variable of player. So when that's connected, it won't be connected. However, you can just chuck it, and then it'll be connected that way. Again, everything, the game manager needs like everything because everything runs through the game manager. That's the point. But the reason you want it to run through the game manager is so that way you only need one reference to everything. You don't need more than one. You just need one reference. That is it. Because the game manager is the only one that needs those kinds of references. So, now we can mess with the numbers. So, let's change this to 0.2. That seems good. We'll see what it does. That's the point. You see what it does? See? Look at how nice that is. Now let's see if I can jump off the platform. See? Look at how consistent that is. Huh. 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 So the reason it looks like I'm kind of like glitching up is because there's a step offset still. So it kind of looks like I'm glitching up there, but I'm actually not. But yeah, this looks a lot laggier for you guys than it does for me. It's actually relatively smooth for me. Yeah. So we want to now create our empty game object because we never actually finished with our game manager. So this will be our game manager game object. So game manager, and then we want to add component game manager. So this can just exist anywhere. Let's just put it at 0, 0 because I like keeping things at 0, 0. Yep. Now that it's done that and that is connected, we can instantiate this. We can not instantiate. That's a creating function. We can now add the player to it. So now we have the player added to it. So when we start messing around with the code a bit more with the game manager, so rather than just having this do nothing, we can actually have it do something. So now I'm going to Google one last thing and then we'll start creating our game a bit more. So we are going to Google free free rotation camera 3D Unity. Rotate camera around. I think that is the one we want. That is. But in what way are they doing it? It won't tell me. Okay, let's see how these guys create it. So yeah, so the plan for this is to eventually use other things. So, for example, if you had an enemy, which we won't in this game, but if I were to have an enemy, let's say, to use the enemy, I would need this kind of script because it needs to be able to get the player position. However, rather than directly accessing it from the player, you can run it through a game manager where you'd want it from anyway because you want your menus and that to be running through your game manager. Okay, so this is how they are doing it. So we want player, no, scripts, game manager. I was gonna, yeah, no, that's not very big brain of me. Let's not do that. So we're gonna create another script folder, and this one will be called camera. And then we want to create a C# script. Call it camera follow. Bam. I don't know if theirs is gonna. The problem is I'd have to watch this like off stream to really know. So we need a. They deleted this, but I will not actually. So / code contains code from here. So of course I might make some like modifications later on. Of course that's usually something you do later on. Smooth camera follow in Unity dash sorry, hiccups. Tutorial. There we go. So now we need a public, and it needs to be public transform. So this is how they're making it. I'm a little skeptical. And we're going to call it player. Because they're just calling it target. We're going to call ours player since we want this to follow player. And there we want smooth speed. That's an odd number. Ooh, that's okay. I've heard of this before, but I've never known exactly what it does. So we're going to use void, call it late update. So of course. So basically, what late update is, it's like all things when you're doing programming. You wanna like try and guess it from its name. It makes perfect sense. I was like, what does this do? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So it does the exact same thing as this, but it just does it later. I know, right? It's genius, pure genius. Just does the same thing as this, but just later. Aha. Equal target dot position. Ah, I know why that wasn't working. It's because we didn't call mine target, we called it player. That would be why it is not working. So then we need to head to Unity. So we want to go to Game Manager. Not Game Manager, actually main camera. Then we want to add, not that, we do want to add a script. It's called camera, follow that one. So, and now we want to grab our player. Again, I'll probably, oh god. So, if anyone, what do you guys think would happen if this code were to run? I already know what's going to happen because I'm watching the tutorial, but I can already make a guess on what's going to happen just based on how the code works. So, keep in mind, the code is only checking, is only going to the player position. So, if I were to run the code, wait for it, see, now if we look at the same view, while in the game, notice how it's teleported. It is inside the player, which is great if you're doing like a first-person game, of course. If you're doing first-person, bam, you've basically just created your game. See? You've basically already created it. Although, of course, you wouldn't be doing this kind of code for it because you probably get rid of the rotate, and then you'd make it directly connected to the camera, and you'd probably move the camera and move everything else around it instead of this method. So now, what they are saying to add, which makes sense. Again, this seems very logical because this is the kind of thoughts I was having on how you would do it, but this is like, it's nice to hear how they would actually do it. Which is, now they are adding they are now adding another public, because if it's private, you don't add anything in front because lazy programming. It's called, we're adding a public, and it's and rather than making it a float, because we don't want to actually make it a float, we want to make it a vector 3. So now this is going to be our offset of the camera. Which of course, if I decide to make it, I'll first make it so it's just fixed, and then later on, for making it offset, if we can get the basic code working, all I'd have to do is make the offset equal the scroll and how much we zoom in and out. So offset, and then, because we can just set that manually. And then we want to add our offset, of course, because it is going to do some math. Because vectors, vector math, that is something I haven't learned yet, but I will be learning it, which will be awesome. Which will be awesome to learn. So, what this will do is, if you don't know anything about vector math, which I do thankfully know the tiniest amount already, because so yeah, what this will do is it will do vector math. So we have the XYZ planes. So let's take a quick look at Unity, so I can explain this. Wait for the scripts to compile. So now that the scripts have compiled, so you see this position here and the rotation and scale. We're going to focus on position for now. So X, Y, Z. So these are all of those are vectors. So each one has its own. Each one is so you combine these together. You have vectors. So to add vectors together, you use vectors. So an X will only attach to another X vector. A Y will only add to another Y vector, and same goes for Z. It's the same thing. Same thing if you're multiplying by vectors, except you can also multiply by a scalar. If you don't know what physics is, there are scalar quantities, and then there are non-scalar quantities. The non-scalars are called vectors. So a vector has direction as well as an amount. Yes, that is correct. Vectors have a information, so they can be negative, like that. And they can also be positive. So direction. A scalar is not negative at all. Kind of. It in pure mathematical terms, it can be, but in terms of physics terms, it cannot be. Because a scalar quantity in physics always has to be positive, because it always has a direction. So yeah, just figured I'd inform you all of how this is doing it. So that's why we used a vector 3, meaning it has 3 vectors, which then add on to the transform player position, which then equal this. So what this will do is it will go through and add the Y, it'll go through and add X, it'll go through and add Y, it'll go through and add Z. All just like that. Sorry. Hiccups. So yeah, now, if we were to grab the main camera, see those offset? So it's currently set to 0, so the same thing would happen. But let's say I set these to like 5, or set 1 to 5. Let's set X to 5, for example. Watch. See? See what's going to happen? It's going to do everything else. It'll make them all the same. So let's now instead make this. I don't know why I made that one 5. I couldn't actually see anything. I just realized I did that wrong. I should have made this one -5. So that way it's back. Because, gotta remember our directions. This is backwards. So if I make that one -5, then let's say I straighten the camera to not have a rotation anymore. It will make it the same as the Y. See? I'm confused why I don't actually think it's working for some odd reason. Let's look at the game. That should not be happening. Oh. I forgot to save. Let's try this demonstration again, maybe, when it's been saved and it can actually do the things I just said it would do. Wait for. There we go. Now it's doing the thing. So yeah, see? We are now 5 back exactly, and we will forever be 5 back exactly. We cannot go out, we cannot go in. We are stuck this way. See? So, now let's say I wanted to add a y-axis, a y offset. So, let's just make it like 4. Just because we could. See how bad it. We'll see how bad it is. Yeah, you can't actually see it, so let's make it lower. Make that 3, maybe 2. Let's make it 2. Let's make it 2. There you go. See? Now you can see it. Backwards, forwards, side, side, forwards. Bam. See? You can see everything. And as this is now rotating, because it's no longer a child, it's not always going to be the same position and rotation relative. Which is basically what this is doing, except this is only doing it to the position. It doesn't affect our rotation. Versus if it's a child, that's what it does. It affects everything the same way. This does not get affected by those kinds of things. Meaning, this can go and dance. Like this. See? We're dancing. Dancing with our pink nose thing creature. I don't know what to call it. It's fine, I don't need good graphics, I'm a programmer. It's not supposed to be good, it's supposed to be functional. I'm just making it not all white, so that way it's actually, you're actually able to look without being blinded, you know? And you saw nothing because I'm a... So, allow me to show you what just happened. So basically, I set the offset. You can actually click on it in here. So I set the offset to 5. Bam. See? It can do this. So, when I make it so you can zoom in and out, the offset will exist. However, it's going to be slightly different in the way it works. So no longer will it be set out here, so it's permanent like this sort of thing. It would actually be able to like rotate, it'll be a zoom in feature. But that is a feature I will add last, because I don't consider it as much as a necessity. Okay. Ah. Okay. Lerp. Lerp. It's one of my favorite words. I learned it last year. It's just the best word. Lerp. So if anyone's wondering what lerp means, it means linear interpolation. Again, there's a reason we shortened it to lerp. Lerp's a much better name for it, in my opinion. Just saying. Who would want to say linear interpolation when you can just be like lerp? It's like derp, but even better because it means something real fancy. So you use this in terms of so lerp or linear interpolations. To my knowledge, you typically use them for smoothing or that kind of thing. So if we were making some sort of moving platform, which I will very likely be doing, to make it move at different speeds or different points to accelerate and decelerate, or just to make it smoother in general, you use a you use a lerp to help with this process. So yeah, lerps, linear interpolations, they connect to point A to point B. If there's any more points, you need more lerps. So yeah, just like that. You would need more lerps with the more ones you have. So then, how they're doing it is if you wanted a smooth, like smoothened out camera, how they're doing it is vector3 smooth position equals vector3.lerp. Again, linear interpolation. Bracket transform.position, comma, and then they're going to put in that, and then transform.position, comma, desired position, comma. So, what it is called in programming, like in terms of IntelliSense, it's being called t, meaning so it's a float t variable, meaning it is a time. T standing for time, just like it does in physics. Again, anything you're doing with physics, if you do physics, you can generally understand a lot of the stuff you're doing in programming, because especially in game programming in particular, because you have to do gravity, calculate like gravity. Granted, the computer's doing this, but you still need to have a very basic understanding, and while you don't need it, it is very, very helpful. But as I said, you don't need it, but you would be able to pick this stuff up just as you're working. So yeah, let's say so A and B can also be understood as 0 and 1. So how they're doing it is transformed position would be the desired position. So let's actually show you how this works, so I can do some gestures for you guys. I can gesture towards it, because I think that might make this a bit easier to understand what I'm actually talking about. So we're gonna have two vector 3s. So this will be vector 3, and this will be called desired position. So the reason you want to call some variables in a function versus out of a function is these variables can be accessed anywhere. So if we were using these specific variables anywhere else in any other functions, you'd want to actually do that. You'd want to put them up here. However, if you're using them only in one function, such as the desired position, if they need a specific update, like they do in this case, you simply just put them in here, like we are currently doing. So then we have another vector 3, and this is called the smoothed position. Oh god, that's not what we want. No, we don't want the capital. Smoothed position. Why did I put a space? Good. I'm failing. Smoothed position. Bam. Equals transform actually no it doesn't, it equals vector3 dot lerp, which remember, linear interpolation, which is just a really fancy word, and bam, look at this. That code that this person had to type out, look at mine. Look at oh yeah, you guys can't see it. Oh, maybe you can actually. I can't really tell if you guys can actually see my IntelliSense sometimes. Yeah, basically, IntelliSense is saying, "Hey, this is the code that we think it's going to create." Bam, created, just like that. Two button presses versus transform to position, desired position. Again, IntelliSense is your friend. It generally is helpful. And sometimes it's a pain in the butt. Most of the time it is helpful. Most of the time it helps you. So now we're down here, rather than having one or the other, if we wanted a to smoothen the position, like if we want a smooth camera, we can just chuck in the desired position. If we don't want a smooth camera, just chuck in your desired position. If you want a smooth one, what you can do is you can now just, rather than having to type all that into here, you can just boom. Watch this. Bam. Just like that. Hey presto. So this, rather than just being like that, like it was before, rather than just doing instantaneous, what this will do instead is it will smoothen it out. The camera will just be ever so slightly behind the player. Not a lot, but just a little bit, you know? Not a lot, just a little. So now, I can actually show you this by running the code. So, wait for it. Oh, god. What? Okay. What happened? I feel like something happened. Note this will work, however, it can be a good idea to multiply smoothly with time to make the same speed. Yeah, I'm just gonna multiply that by delta time, because delta time is delta time. Always multiply by delta time if you can, because delta time is good time. It do be helpful. So I think I'll actually, instead of doing that, we're gonna chuck it down here, because delta time dot delta time is going to be a constant, because it'll be the thing I would never remove, because delta time is friend. It ill. They just recommended using fixed update, which in general is not something you want to use. So now that this is higher, I'm gonna change this because you want like 10. Let's see if this. Oh god, what's happening? Why am I in the ground? This is concerning me. I need to see view. What? What is going on? I don't think my camera likes me very much. I don't think it's having a good time, guys. This is this is hardly concerning to me. Why is that happening? Why does camera be jitter mess? Why? What is going on? Let's just set everything to 0. Yen. Are we still a jittery mess? We just... Yeah, no, that's concerning. This is weird. Why is it doing this? Why? Why is it doing this? Why? I do not know. Yeah. Why is the camera being a fixed broken mess? Da 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 da. Let's just... I think it's fine without delta time. So I think... what if I try... Oh, that might be why, because in how they did it, it was in here. And specifically to smooth speed. Which might explain why I'm having issues. So, instead of having it here, which is multiplying this entire lerp, if I just put it in smooth speed, that might fix the issue of camera brokenness. Because I think that might be the problem. I'm also going to just fix that a little bit later. I also just quickly changed that part. So, yep, do this. Go to Unity. Wait for the scripts to compile. We're going to change this back to 2. Let's see if it's fixed now. Wait for it, wait for it. See, why is that happening? Why are we going to space? Why? Video, teach me. Yeah, we're just getting further and further away, and I do not know why. I mean, this stuff shouldn't matter. It shouldn't need to take my input for the camera anymore. The point of the system is that it stays there for like a second, and then I'm just gone. And I don't know why. Why, oh, why, oh, why? Why is it like this? So, why is this happening? We fixed the jitter, but we didn't fix out the... But we didn't fix the weird problem of just the zooming out. So what I might do is, I think I end stream here. I'll raid someone, don't worry. And yeah, I think I'll just raid. Because I'm getting a little bit tired, so yeah. I feel like taking a break. Sorry guys, I'm ending stream early, but hope you all enjoyed. Hope it was fun. Hope you all found it fun. Sorry about that weird issue, this weird issue. But yeah. Next time, I think we will be working on platforms when we're programming next. I think I'll be working on actual platforms and everything. And if I do anything without showing you guys, I'll either record it or I'll tell you guys next stream / recording. So you guys can actually see, because remember, this will be on GitHub for me to go back and show you some of the differences if I cannot remember them myself. So yeah, I will figure out why that's happening. Programming streams are not... Why do I always do? I accidentally press Control Shift S a lot when I'm trying to save Unity stuff. But yeah, let me show you guys what I do to end. I usually close Visual Studio first. So I go in the opposite way. Close Visual Studio. Then I make sure that I've saved Unity again, because you always got to save multiple times. Always make sure. Then you close that. Wait for it to close. Now you guys are on GitHub, which I need to take a quick look at. Now you've got to get ignore here. Maybe it's supposed to be there. That's gonna concern me though, because I feel like it shouldn't be that big. Oh, it says deleted. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna find the few ones I've actually changed, because I've deleted things. So let's just grab these ones, you know, the ones that have actually changed and not those ones. What are we gonna call this commit? Camera and player movement, I guess. Camera does randomly zooms out. Player movement is done. Bam. I think I'll just switch it back to the basic one of just the basic offset where it's not zooming out. And then I'll do a more advanced thing later. Can I like... Come on, I deleted these. I'm not dealing with these on my commit on my GitHub forever. Discard changes. Oh. If they're deleted, yep, don't care. They're all deleted. Discard all changes. Yep. They all are not needed. So yeah, that's what you do. And then you... Yeah. That's all you have to do. Because now that's published, means I can access it whenever I need to. Now we will raid Els, because I like El Grace. Let's see if I do the command right. Yeah, let's go. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.